Hey guys, Tom here, and welcome back to the Underground. Today we're going to talk a little bit about a category of drink that's called a buck. And a buck is simply just a spirit and either ginger ale, or ginger beer. And you're probably thinking to yourself, wait a minute, my parents used to drink highballs all the time. That's just whiskey and ginger ale. Yes and no. Technically, a highball is a classification of drink. It just became a specific drink. But the difference between a highball like that and a buck is a buck has the addition of citrus. Now, there are many types of bucks, and we will get into that. But first, I want to talk a little bit about where did the buck come from? Well, there are a couple theories that I found. One is that it came from a drink called a Buck Fizz, which was just champagne and orange juice. Or another drink, I don't know where it came, well, so it's Buck, which was kind of like champagne and orange juice, it was kind of like a highball. Or another drink called a horse's neck. It derived from the horse's, I guess a horse's neck is called a buck maybe. But that was just a horse's neck cocktail, was just ginger beer and lemon. But what they did was somewhere along the way, they added some kind of spirit to it, which gave it a kick. So the horse's neck became a buck like the kick, or here we go, down the line, a mule, a kick like a mule, which another famous buck drink is the vodka buck, also known as the Moscow Mule, which we'll get into. So aside from the Moscow Mule, another famous buck is a rum buck. Now, there are many different kinds of bucks. There are the vodka buck or the Moscow Mule. There is a gin buck, which would be gin and ginger ale, also known as a Ginger Rogers for the famous movie star dancer, or a London buck because you London gin. There is also the rum buck, which we'll get into another derivative of the rum buck, which is, where am I going? Which is also called either a Barbados buck or a Jamaican buck or any other kind of buck, depending on where the rum comes from. And then there is the most famous of all rum bucks, and that is the Dark and Stormy. Now, all Dark and Stormies are rum bucks, but not all rum bucks are Dark and Stormies. And that is, to have a true Dark and Stormy, you have to use Gosling's Gold Seal rum and Gosling's ginger beer, which is what we're going to do right now. So, what you do is you pour some Gosling's Gold Seal rum in a glass, however much you like. I like that much. And then you need some citrus, in this case, lime. I like a decent amount of lime in mine. Make sure you wash your hands if you're going to be touching people's drinks. Although nowadays you're not touching anybody's drinks, are you? No, you're not. Just touch your own drinks and then wash your hands before and after. So I'll just leave that one in there. I didn't bring a towel down for myself, but luckily I have a paper towel. And then you need some Gosling's Gold Seal rum. So you top it off with some Gosling's Gold Seal rum. Not rum, Gosling's Gold Seal rum's in the bottom. And there is alcoholic ginger beer, non-alcoholic ginger beer. This is non-alcoholic. Gosling's since 1806 ginger beer, the refreshing zip of ginger. It's good. I mean, I've tried different types of ginger beer. This is good. I like this Barrett's as well. But to have a traditional, true to life, Dark and Stormy, you have to have Gosling's. So, there you go, our first buck of the day, the Dark and Stormy. Next is the other most famous buck, and that is a vodka buck or a vodka mule, or say it with me, Moscow mule. And a Moscow mule traditionally is served in a copper mug. So how did it come up with the name Moscow Mule? Well, easy if you think about it. You have the mule for the buck drink and Moscow because it's made with vodka, you know, Russia vodka. So that's kind of like a easy thing. There is another history of the Moscow Mule, but I don't remember it off the top of my head. I'll leave a link to, I did a video, there's another video where I describe more the history of the Moscow Mule. I'll leave you a link to that right up somewhere, either up here or up here, so you can check it out. So, Moscow Mule's vodka. This is Swedish vodka, not Russian vodka, but you get the drift. It's all gonna work out the same in the wash. However much you want, I want that much. And then just like with the other, you need some lime. I like lots of lime. So I put that in my towel, get the rest of my ginger beer. I'm so thirsty, my mouth is watering. And how about another little wheel of lime? So just like that, we've knocked out two very refreshing and typical name brand buck drinks. The second being the Moscow Mule. So now we're going to experiment a little bit. It's everybody's wondering what they have around their house that I can make anything with. So we're going to experiment with some different kinds of bucks. I brought down, and I'm only going to make these little ones because you know, what am I going to do? Drink them all? I'll share them. I'll share them with you. Come on over. We can share some mules and bucks together. So I'm just going to make these little drinks if I have enough ice. I think I have enough ice for one or two more. We might not make all five. We'll see. What's that? So that's going in. I'm drinking it, so the table's clean. So there's the rest of our ice. So what do we have that we can buck up these drinks? Let me distribute the ice evenly. There we go. So let's see. How about an Irish buck? That's typical. That's kind of like your parents' highball, a little bit of Irish whiskey. And for this one, I'm going to use some ginger ale. Now, here's the thing. I actually prefer diet ginger ale to regular ginger ale. It's less sweet, and I find it to be more gingery. Now, a buck's a buck. A buck's not a buck without some citrus. I think for this one, I'd like a little bit of lemon in this kind of a buck. So we have an Irish. How about a honey buck? Some honey liqueur or honey whiskey, or you could actually, I had some mead upstairs. I should have used mead because that probably would be good. See, do I have more ginger beer? Yeah, let me try some ginger beer. Honey buck ginger beer. And naturally, just like the cough drops, how about a little lemon in the honey buck? Cough drops, let's do a lot of lemon in the honey buck. I keep losing my paper towel. So that's number 2, a honey buck. Number 3, how about a Spanish buck? or a Mexican buck, or a buckarita. How about a bucker? We'll call it a buckarita. So that is tequila, and let's try ginger ale again. So since we have tequila, naturally, that's going to be some lime. I like lots of citrus in my drinks. I don't know about you, but I just find them to be a lot more refreshing with lots of citrus. So that's 3. We're motoring through them. I have 2 more glasses. Actually, no. Here's one you could do. Actually, I drink this a lot, which is spiced rum and ginger ale with lime, but I'm not going to do that one right now. I have 2 more that I want to try. Or actually, I have peach and apple, either peach buck or an apple buck. And to go peach, I either have peach schnapps or peach whiskey. So I have a bunch of whiskeys already. This might be weird, but we're going to try it. And that's a peach buck. So that's going to be some peach schnapps. And good thing that I'm using the diet, because I find peach schnapps to be very sweet. So peach, what goes with peach? Lemon. I think lemon goes with peach, right? You agree? Lemon and peach? I can spell it already. I think that one might be surprisingly either good or disgusting. Finally. We have rum, we have whiskey, we have vodka. That's, you know what? Hell with it. Let's do I'm gonna call this a pirate buck. I just invented that name, pirate buck. At least I think I did. And that's the spiced rum, more ginger ale. Go ginger ale and ginger beer, since I need to fill the glass. And then again, lots of lime. So there you have it. 5, 6, 7 bucks that I made. 2 traditional, 5 somewhat untraditional, inventive, or uncommon bucks made with stuff that I have around the house that you can enjoy. Bucks are a refreshing drink. The good weather is going to be here before you know it, and this is a great way to cool off on a hot summer day, or any day for that matter. So, which one do I want to try? The most interesting buck of all, it's got to be the peach buck. I think it's this. Is this the peach? Do you remember? We'll find out soon enough. So, cheers to you. Make a buck for a friend. Next time you have a friend over, I say, hey buddy, you know what? I'm going to give you a buck. And then give him a buck. Cheers. Enjoy a buck with a friend. Remember, strangers are just friends that you haven't shared a drink with yet. So until I see you next time, cheers. Actually, that's pretty good.